Hello guys, so in the previous lesson we learned how to import a sample demo data, and this is what I imported. There's no doubt you also must have imported a different layout, but in this lesson we are going to start a real-world web design agency website, and this is the template that I have opted to use. So if you are going to be with me throughout this journey, then you can also take a look at this template. We are going to customize every facet of this to create a functional web design agency website. Apparently, you may need this as a website designer so that you'll be able to advertise your work so that potential customers will reach out to you for you to have some projects done. And your website design agency website should be as fully functional and elegant as possible so that it informs potential customers that you have something amazing for them. So here I have done a new WordPress installation, and you can equally do the same thing to create a new WordPress installation altogether for this specific project. We are going to follow the same procedure in the previous lesson where we added a new theme and imported demo data, and here we are going to choose this specific one so that we customize everything to make it a website for your agency. So appearance, themes, new theme, upload it, install it, activate, begin installation of plugins, install all plugins, return to plugins installer to activate all of them, activate, apply, return to dashboard. Demo importation is the next thing. So go to consult your theme options, then you go to import demo. And in this case, we are choosing IT solution, import demo. Demo importation is complete. So let's visit the website so that we can start work with it. Let's start from the header. The header here has the logo as well as a vertical navigation menu. So with the logo, you can upload a logo that has a size of about 600 by 160 pixels. So I have a logo. I would like to remove the background of this logo. Then I'll resize it. So let me resize it first. So you can use this online tool to resize it, resizeimage.net. Upload the image. After cropping the image, you will be able to resize it. And here the most important thing is the height of the logo. Once we give it a height that is normal, the width will not be a problem at all. For instance, if we don't work on the height and we have a height that exceeds this one, we are going to have way too big a logo at this place, and that will not be beautiful. So once we determine the height of it, which is this part, 160, and we maintain the aspect ratio, we can use the results from this resize. So resize image, download the image. Now let's remove background. Upload the image here to remove the background. Now download it and we'll be able to use it in the project. So dashboard, then consult you. Then you click on theme options. So this is the fav icon. We can upload an image with the same dimensions such as 512 by 512. 32 by 32 or 16 by 16. That will serve as the fav icon. For the logo, we go to header, then to logo. This theme gives you option to be able to upload different versions of the logo. We can remove all the existing ones and upload our logo. Upload the same for tablet and mobile. Select the already existing logo. And for the logo DAC too, we will use the same logo. Select the logo, save changes. I always recommend that you refresh the page each time you do a major change so that you will see whether the change has been effected. With that, you'll be able to monitor your progress closely as you move on. So let's refresh the page and we see our logo beautifully replaced. The next is this section. How do we edit this slider area here? we are going to enable Elementor Page Builder to help us edit each of these sections. So click on Edit with Elementor. Now when you place the cursor anywhere on this section, you see that the page builder is active, and we are going to use this pencil tool to modify the content. Now when you place the cursor on the pencil tool, you see Edit Slider Revolution 6. So it tells you that this section was created with slider revolution. So how do you edit it? Click on the pencil tool, and it shows the details of the specific slider that has been used here. And when you click on Edit Model, it will take you there to be able to edit it. Alternatively, you can go to the dashboard, then to Slider Revolution, which is located at the bottom here. And once you click on this, you'll be able to have access to the slider and make changes. Either way, we are good to go. So just click on Edit Model, and here we have our slider ready to be modified. And when you take a look at the slider here on the home page, you see it has a lot of elements on it. It has image, it has text, buttons, and related information. But if you look at this one here, which is the one that actually appears there, you see that most part has been covered. So to be able to see all the elements on it, you can close this one, or you'll be able to modify them one after another here. But to have a visual display of the elements, you can close this, and still some of the sections are hidden. So what I usually do is to minimize the browser window so that I'll be able to see the elements that are underneath the ones on the top here. You can use Ctrl plus minus to reduce the window. So having reduced the window now to about 67%, you would see all the elements that are available to be modified. Now that we are ready to modify this section, the question is, what are we going to type? What content are we going to add? So how do we find the content to add to the website? If this is your own, you are going to create this website for yourself as a website for your agency, then apparently you have to plan the content that you want to use on the website. And of course, you can draw inspiration from some other websites, their choice of words, not to copy exactly what they have there, but to know what to compose to make something meaningful that will resonate with your customers and drive them to you for sales. So for website design agency, you provide website design and development and their related services such as search engine optimization, digital marketing, social media marketing, and any that is within the scope of your services. So for example, let's say that you want to write something about that. So you click on the element you want to modify. So something like we create. Here you can see that there's an HTML code that has been added to underline the text here. But if you don't want that, you can just type your own content without any of those styles. Another text is here. If you take a close look at this section here, you would also see there are social media icons here. This is essential if you want to integrate your social media links also here, so that the moment someone clicks on them, it takes them to your social media pages, in which case you'll be able to do them here. By clicking on this section, on the right hand side here, you see those handles, and then this section is where you have to insert the link. So facebook.com, for example, / your company. Then you insert your URL to your Facebook page. You can do the rest for the other ones. And if there are some that you won't need, you just have to simply delete those ones. Or if you don't really want to keep this feature on the home page at this section, you can simply right click on this section and delete it. There is a video button here as well. If you look on the slider, you can see there is a video button here. And so if you have an explainer video or anything like that to advertise your business, and you want to place it here. Actually, placing the video here, I don't see the possibility of people actually watching because it is just a button. Not so much attention is drawn to it. So if you want to keep it anyway, you can click on that and then insert your video URL at the specific section that is indicated here. And as usual, if you want to get rid of it, you can simply delete it as well. There is a button here, which is Contact Us button. It could be a button that leads to any page at all. Once it is a call to action button, that will really make the user perform an action that will likely lead to a sale. That is a good thing to do. So if you have any page, it could be your pricing page, your Contact Us page, or anything that is worthy of attention that you want your users to do, you can have a button here and lead them there as well. As you can see, this also has a drag and drop feature where you can drag the elements and keep them at anywhere at all on a slider. It could be anywhere, so you can place it at specific locations and they will show just as you place them. And if you want to edit this, for example, you simply click on it and then you have the text which you can modify at the right hand side here to whatever you want. Probably something like check our pricing. That is if you want to do that, or whatever at all that you want to do. Just place that call to action text here, and then the next thing to do is to make the button clickable so that once a user clicks on it, it takes them to the page where we want that action to be taken, or where we want them to take a look. So if you want to add a link to that so that it becomes clickable, you go to Actions here, and then you can see Simple Click here when you hover over it. So click on that, and then you have the action here already. Action type is Simple Click. Then there is supposed to be a link here. So once you get the URL or the link of the page, you simply insert that link here so that once the user clicks on that, it takes the user to that page. Apparently, you can best do this when you complete the website and decide which page should have that link here. The next thing we can modify here is the picture that we can see here. So we right click on that section and select Edit. Then because it is a picture we want to modify, we select the media library and select the picture we want to use. So click on Media Library. Then as usual, you can either upload a new image or select an already existing image. In using images for your project, you would need professional images, eye-catching images, such as the one here. But if you don't have images such as this, there is another free resource that you can make use of. Another type of images that you can use in your projects, in your designs, whether graphic design, your website design, anything that has to do with design. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Andro. Andro is an awesome design resource. You'll be able to use their images for any project, for commercial projects, and there are no limitations. What they give you is free vector images, and these images can be used for every project, free of charge. So to be able to browse the illustrations, you go to andro.co, create beautiful website, products and applications. Go to Browse Now, and here you have a whole lot of illustrations. For any idea or any design at all that you would like to do, you'll be able to find resources here to do that. If you scroll down, you see that we have a whole lot of images which are constantly being updated. And you can actually search for a category. So in this wise, let's say we are searching for vectors, or we are searching for illustrations for a website design project. Then we can type something like website, and here are illustrations that can be used for a website design. One beautiful thing about this is that you can use your own branding. So if you click on the color here, you'll be able to change to any color at all that exists. These are some main colors, but you can also use codes to generate new colors. So let's say that your design is this color. Once you click on this, then it generates all the images in that color for your brand. So in this case, let's say we want one that will advertise a web design agency, for instance. So you go through and see which one you would like to use. You have download options to download this as SVG. SVG, which stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. So Scalable Vector Graphics is a file format that allows you to display vector images on your website. And we can download the SVG and use in our website project. And if we want to use the same picture for blog posts and social media, then we download the PNG format. So in this case, let's download the SVG. We want to use this image we have downloaded as a background for our slider. So one thing we need to know so that we can design it appropriately is the dimension of this place. Now, how do you know the dimension so that we choose exactly that? If you go to Media Library, the current image that has been used there is this one. If you click on this, you see the image dimensions 1920 by 912 pixels. So we are going to create an image with the same dimensions so that we can insert our downloaded vector and do some basic designs. So I would like to use an online to canva.com, and here I'm creating a new design. So create a design, custom dimensions, the width being 1920 as we have determined, and the height 912. Create new design. Go to uploads and upload this image there so that we can use in the project. Drag and drop. And as said earlier concerning SVG, that they are scalable, you can see that you can really scale it up, scale it to almost any dimension, and the quality remains the same, or scale it down. So this feature of SVG makes it a great choice for responsive web design. You don't lose the quality of the image. So placing this image somewhere, download the result, and let's use this in our project. So you right click and edit it, Media Library, and we drag this newly downloaded image, insert it, and this is what we have now. Now let's preview this to see the design itself. And clearly from this appearance, there is the need to modify the text that we typed to bring this word down and possibly shift it to the left a bit. So close the preview, click on the text, and let's bring the websites down. Or it depends on whatever you've typed here anyway, but this is just to tell you that you'll be able to modify the text in any way that you want. And you have to check as you move on so that when the need arises to do something, to shift something to where it's supposed to be, then you can do that. In this case, as an example, I may have to shift this a bit to the left and the text here as well for alignment. And you can drag the whole element and place it anywhere at all. If you realize you make a mistake, undo it. Now let's take a look at the preview again. So preview, so it seems the same. Let's edit the content again. Preview, and we can view in various screen sizes. So this is the desktop version, this is notebook, and because of how it appears on this device, we may need to do some adjustments as well. So you have to take your time and do all of these. You go to the other version and there is a need to adjust a little, and then to the last one too, the same is true. So you can actually do for all these, and by the time you are through with this, you would have a design that is able to appear nicely on every device size at all. That will also mean that you would have to go to your design, possibly reduce the size or reposition it, and do the same for the text. You can send it up to the right, as well as every element at all that is available. You can resize the elements on it, and then as you do it, you will be checking the preview to take a look at how it will finally appear when it is published. So this is a basic idea regarding how to create sliders using slider revolution and vector graphics so that you can have eye-catching designs. So to customize it, you can follow the same approach. Get an image that defines the idea or the brand, the website that you are creating. Search for an appropriate keyword. Choose the color of your brand. Then download the image that you want to use, SVG or PNG, and use for your website project. Once you finish making changes, don't forget to save the work. Apparently, the best way to see what has been done is to go back to the home page, refresh it, and see what has happened, such as this. So in this case, when you realize the need to still make modifications, then you go back and do so accordingly. For instance, in this case, the font might be too big and not so fitting, and you can reduce it and possibly move this upwards a bit. You can also click on the individual elements and move them around. And as said earlier, if you want to have a look at the whole thing at a glance, then you may have to reduce the size of the window with Ctrl+- key. Doing that, you see that the button is far away from the design. So there is a need to bring that upwards a bit. Now we can save it and have a look at the site again. Taking a look at this, I'm satisfied with this design. Otherwise, I would have to continuously perform additional modifications, drag and drop them around to see which one will be suitable. One beautiful feature of Slider Revolution is that it enables you to export the sliders and equally to be able to import the sliders. This helps so well when you are creating multiple websites. So when you are creating a new website and there is the need for you to use this same slider, though to modify the text but keep the same appearance, then you have to export this slider and import it elsewhere. In which case you go to Slider Revolution, identify the slider here. There are so many things that can be done to this slider. If you click on the drop down here, you see there are so many things that you can do to duplicate them, to take a look at them, preview. Optimize would enable the image size to be reduced while maintaining the quality. You can rename the slider, you can delete it. For instance, I want to rename this slider to something like Web Agency. And if I want to export it, then I use this export function. Yes, export slider. And you can see it has been downloaded here, but with the name IT Solution, no problem. Let's say that this is a new project that I'm doing and I want to import this slider. How do I use it? I'll go to the same Slider Revolution here, then I'll go to Manual Import. Here we are dragging and dropping the zip file, or we can click to choose it. Select the file and it has been successfully imported. If you now go to your sliders, you see that you now have Web Agency 2. Apparently this is the one that we just imported and has been renamed Web Agency 2 because we had Web Agency. So how can you use an imported slider in your project? There are several ways of using the imported slider. For instance, in an already existing project like this home page, let's edit the home page with Elementor. And if we click on this tool, which is Edit Slider Revolution 6, we see that the slider that has been enabled here is the one with the name IT Solution. To select which slider to display here, we go to Select Module, and you have the sliders here so that you can choose which one you want to use. So as you can see here now, the selected module is Web Agency 2, apparently the new one. You would also find the need to use a slider when you want to create a new page altogether. For instance, I want to create a new page. So I go to Pages and click on Add New. So I enter the name of the page, such as New Page, and edit with Elementor. And then what I can do here is to add a new section. Select one column, click on the plus here to be able to drag and drop a slider module. So search for slider, and you have Slider Revolution 6. That is what we are going to use. Drag and drop it here. Then you'll be able to select a module as it has popped up for us to choose the one that we want to use. Once we select that, then that becomes our slider. But clearly, if we want the slider to be the first on the page, then we have to get rid of this section. Let's see how practically we can do that. Let's publish the page first. Our page is live, so we can have a look at it. Taking a look at our page, we have navigation menu appearing here. In a later tutorial, we are going to learn how to modify all these accordingly. But in the meantime, we want to deal with this to get rid of this, so that the slider becomes the first one at the top section. Elementor has a section that helps you to hide the header. But this theme also comes with an option that helps you to easily hide the header. So let's use the one for the theme. So click on Edit Page, not Edit with Elementor, but Edit Page. And here, once we scroll down, we have Page Title. And here we can hide the page title from this section. So go to Hide, then Update. Now we can take a look at the page. And this is our page with the slider as the first element apart from the headers here. So this is basically how to work around sliders. We have seen in this lesson how to add sliders, how to create your own slider, insert images such as this one, add your text, adjust them to be able to fit the screen beautifully, and how to get free vector graphics for your designs, as we have used OnDraw to do this, and also to use Canva to create the designs. In our next lesson, we are going to continue with the other sections. We will take a look at how to be able to work around everything involving these sections. For instance, this area has a whole section which we can work around it. We have the layout, the style, and the advanced features, and also the content itself. For instance, if you click on the text editor, we will be able to also modify the content, the style, and the advanced settings. So in our next lesson, we are going to take a closer look at this so that we finish with our website design process, especially when it comes to designing the home page. And then when we are through with the home page, there will be the need to also work on the other pages. And once we finish with all of those, we have to link them to make it a complete website. So we will learn this in other subsequent lessons, how to create the navigation menus, the vertical navigation menus, and the horizontal navigation menus. So stay tuned for the next lesson.